up a painting of a deceased Trayvon Martin in the grass. That's some low down dirty. And the people that are buying these paintings, just as bad. You some low down dirty motherfuckers too, to go that route. Oh, just disgusting, man. Just okay. Enough on that. The other news, and me being a comedian, that struck me was Katt Williams went on V103 morning show in Atlanta and completely, just no filter, went in on Lil Rel, Gerald Carmichael, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart a little bit. And it's one thing to say you're out of line, or to give your opinion. I think with Katt, it was a little bit. Hold on a second. Sorry, my son's blowing me up. Doing podcast. Sorry about this. That was a commercial break. That's when your son is on the other side of the country and he called you 4 times while you're doing your podcast and he gives you 5. I just texted him I'll be done. It's an emergency. He's still calling me. The ADHD runs in my family. I got it. That's why with my podcast I'll be going on rants and then get on another rant. And my son definitely has it too. Like that dude gets transfixed and he will blow me up and I'm like, what's up? Hey, can you order me some food? Like what? Yeah, can you order me some food, Dad? So I was talking about Katt Williams. So Katt goes in with Wanda and there's this lady named Wanda Smith and she's been on Atlanta radio for I'm guessing 20 years. Wanda's a very nice lady, and Katt is so, I think he's so intelligent and he's so smart. I don't know. It's like I think every genius has a bit of crazy in him. And I think that's what Katt is. I think definitely he's a comedic genius, but he also got a bit of crazy in him. So he goes in and says he's offended that Tiffany Haddish that people are calling her the queen of comedy, and she doesn't have enough comedy specials, and she hasn't been on a tour, and things of that nature. And so I see where Katt's going with this, because when you say somebody's the queen of comedy, you're thinking stand-up. Where Tiffany isn't known as a stand-up. She's pretty much known from Girls Trip, and that's what took her to another level. Very similar to Melissa McCarthy. She's very much become the black Melissa McCarthy. How Melissa McCarthy came in with Bridesmaids, and everybody was funny in that movie, but she clearly stood out. Girls Trip comes out, and to be in a cast with Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett, Regina Hall, and then Tiffany, and when I first heard about the movie and heard it got casted, I thought Tiff was going to be like supporting. Then when I saw it, I was like, whoa, no, that's her movie. You know, it reminded me very much of Think Like a Man, where Romney, when the movie came about, Romney was going to be the narrator. And then it turned into Kevin ended up becoming the narrator. And because Kevin just started taking off after we casted it and everything. And now with when I saw Girls Trip, that's a Regina Hall was clearly the centerpiece, and it was Jada Pinkett, Queen Latifah, and Tiffany revolving around Regina. But Regina was a centerpiece of that movie. But Tiffany was just so wild in it that she stuck out, and then she started just getting offered roles after roles, and that I said again, damn it. So her stand up, she's never been known for her stand up, even though she's been on Def Jam. And she had a Showtime special, and she just signed a deal with Netflix. Katt did say something that was valid. Can you tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke? You can't. She hasn't done anything in the stand-up realm that has stuck out. Similar to Tiffany was in, she was in Keanu, she was in the Carmichael Show, and bit parts in other movies, but she didn't do anything that resonated and really stuck out, which happens a lot in this business. Hell, Kevin Hart was in Along Came Polly and that movie Eddie Murphy, Meet Dave and stuff. But really, Soul Plane, okay, he was the lead, and that became like a hood classic. But then Think Like a Man, boom, really blew Kevin out of the water. Tiffany was the same way. And I think Katt was more saying, stop saying she's the queen of comedy when she hasn't done enough as a stand-up. And there's other people out there, other females out there, like Katt brought up Lunel and Melanie Camacho. Those are people that Katt took on the road. So basically, Katt's basically like, in my opinion, Tiffany's not funny is what he was saying as a stand-up. But then and to me, female comedians, it's tough, man. It's tough. This is a male-dominated business. And I've heard females say being attractive and being a female is a hindrance. Because it's hard. You see a pretty female, you don't think she's going to be goofy and you're going to laugh like that. But I like Tiffany a lot. I do. But as far as stand-up, I don't think she's the funniest stand-up comedian out there. But I'm not knocking her at all. I mean, to me, the funniest, just in my opinion, the funniest female stand-up is Samore, to me. Samore, I've been on the road with her. She always brings it. She's always writing. And I'm like, God, she's really good. She's strong. She's the strongest female stand-up to me out there, in my opinion. Now, it's funny when I say I don't think Tiffany's the funniest female out there, people will twist your words to say I don't think Tiffany's funny. That's not what I said. I said I don't think she's the funniest female stand-up, in my opinion. So now when people say she's the queen of comedy, and I think Jamie Foxx is the one. Jamie Foxx has really been all over Tiffany since Girls Trip because she was brilliant in that role. And that role led to basically open the doors for her completely. But you don't knock somebody's hustle for that. I like what Sinbad said on The Breakfast Club a while back. He was like, when I get, I said, again, he goes, when I don't get a role and I see guys younger than me or other people that I feel like I should have got it and they come up, he goes, I'm not mad at them for getting that because we're all chasing the same thing. So if you get something that I'm chasing, that just means it was meant for you. And I'm not going to hate on you because at the end of the day, Adrian Bronner, you're just trying to make a living and make money like other stand-ups are that move out to Hollywood and New York and try to make it. So you can't knock somebody else's hustle because they get a part that you was up for. Sometimes things are out of your control completely. I found out Tiffany had to audition for Girls Trip 3 times. They kept bringing her in because they wanted a big name, and she wasn't a big name. And then she just had to keep bringing it. And they was like, all right, she keeps bringing it. We're going to give it to her. And even when I saw her on some of the award shows, Tiffany had said she was talking to the casting director. She goes, I came in for you numerous times and didn't get parts. But the stars aligned, and she was ready for this role in Girls Trip. And now she's taken off. But I think Katt was more talking about her stand-up. She hasn't done a tour and things of that nature. Now, he also went in on Lil Rel. He went in on Hannibal Buress and Carmichael from, Jared Carmichael from the Carmichael Show. Now, I get what he's saying when he talks about they'll give Jared Carmichael a special that nobody's going to watch. I get, the same thing with the Carmichael Show. I did a joke one time. I had Lil Rel on my Instagram, and I said, he's on the best black sitcom that nobody's watching. And Lil Rel was like, what? And I think it's similar. I used to watch Carmichael Show, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Just like Blackish is I think Blackish has come a long way. But the Carmichael Show, it never resonated. It never stuck with at least the people I associate myself with and the people that I talk to. And I was like, so I think what Katt was saying was, can anybody name their favorite Carmichael episode from the Carmichael Show? And you really can't. And Tiffany was on that show. Lil Rel was on that show. Now, Lil Rel, same thing. So you got a TV show, and you got a guy named Lil Rel, and you got a girl named Tiffany Haddish. And if you ask them, everybody be like, what? They was on that? Because it's for whatever reason, it just didn't hit and resonate. Now, Lil Rel, supposedly amongst the novice comedy fans, hit with Get Out. But he was in a bunch of stuff before that. And now he's taken off. He got Uncle Drew, and he's passed some movies up. Now he's got Rel coming out on Foxx. Now I think Rel is going to be very similar to the Carmichael Show, in my opinion. I think it's, I know Lil Rel, and I know Sinbad's on it. and Jess Hilarious is on it, and DC Young Fly's in it. So they casted a bunch of comedians, which I always think is smart. Cast comedians in there, put a couple actors in there, but put a couple comedians in a sitcom that you want to be funny, because I think comedians' natural instinct is going to be correct most of the time, rather than a writer. Have the writer should just be like, the writer is almost like, when you think of NFL team, he's like an offensive coordinator. They're just writing the plays down. You got to get athletes and you got to get ball players in there to deliver those lines. And I think comedians, we can see something funny and bring it to life more than people that aren't comedians. Now bring in some seasoned actors to like facilitate it, keep that train rolling. Almost like NBA, when you watch NBA on TNT. I mean, Shaq and Barkley are the best, and then Kenny Smith. But you got Ernie on there. Ernie's the guy that keeps that train rolling and brings it back together and grounds everybody. So I think with Rel Show, I think it's going to be similar to that. I think it's going to be similar to the Carmichael Show. I'm sure it's going to be good and great, but I don't think people are going to be like, whoa, gotta watch Rel this week. And that's just the state of TV, period. More people are on their phones and on Netflix, and there's so many other outlets for people's attention span to go to. Sitcoms aren't what they used to be. It used to be that was the golden ticket. When I first got to LA in the late 90s, it was you got to get on a sitcom, and you felt like you made it. Now there's so many people on sitcoms, and you wouldn't even know it, just because there's so many other TV channels and things to watch. It's almost, I mean, reality show people are more famous than people on sitcoms, without question anymore. You rather be the third lead in a reality show or the third lead in a sitcom. Third lead in a reality show, Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop, those people, they're getting booked at club appearances and stopped at airports more than the third lead of a sitcom. There's a guy out there now, Tone Bell. Tone Bell opened for me in Dallas like 10 years ago. And he's funny dude. He's been on, I bet you, 8 sitcoms in the past 5 years. He'll get on one and then he'll get canceled and they'll cast him in another one. But Tone Bell at the airport won't get stopped hardly at all. And that guy's continually on a sitcom year after year after year. Damon Wayans Jr. In Hollywood, dude, they're beating down the door to work with that dude. He'll go sitcom to sitcom to sitcom to sitcom. But the novice comedy people and the people aren't in the industry will be like, Damon Wayans got a son? They wouldn't even know it. That's the state we're in right now. Just my reality show, I mean, it didn't. Here's the thing about my reality show, the Gary Owen Show. We premiered the same week as Insecure in Atlanta. I'm like two, basically, what is really becoming iconic shows. I was up against. I was on the same time as ATL, same time. So I would get on Twitter and I'm trying to tweet about my show, and then I would be like, "What the fuck is this Atlanta show?" Because that was trending everywhere. I go, "Who the fuck is Donald Glover? Why is the Gary Owen Show not trending?" And just for whatever reason, and you'll go crazy trying to figure it out. It is what it is. So why did Atlanta resonate? I don't know, but it did, and it resonated with the millennials. And I watched the show every week. I didn't watch it when my show was on, but trust, I DVR it and watch it. And then I have to watch my show 10 times to try to get the ratings of Atlanta. But that's the thing. Nowadays, sitcoms on network TV, as far as like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, I think you're getting a watered down version of what people really want. Where if you get on cable TV or you get on Netflix, you can almost hit them a little rawer with things, because Atlanta hits, because I don't think they have as many eyes on it editing it. And the biggest complaint you'll ever hear amongst people on sitcoms is they think they got something funny and good, and a network exec will be like, "Nope, I don't like it. Take it out." We went through that with my, I think every show you go through that. Even when I had the Gary Owen Show on BET, we would get notes from different people at BET, and one person be like, "I got a note like this one time." So we send it off, and this lady at BET said, "Well, when Gary got baptized at the church, he moonwalked after he got out of the pool or the jacuzzi where I got baptized. He moonwalked out. that's going to be offensive to black people. And I was thinking, no, it isn't. I was celebrating getting baptized, so I moonwalked out. That's just funny. I was like, sometimes I think execs at networks, they have to give notes to validate their job. And I think that's why network sitcoms aren't as good as they could be, because there's too many people trying to validate themselves with notes. I would love to hear stories of writers and actors on sitcoms that it's turned in a script and a network said, great, shoot it. I don't think it's ever happened in the history of TV. I don't think anybody's put in a sitcom and went boom. Maybe not a sitcom, but maybe Shonda Rhimes. I heard Shonda Rhimes because she said such success in hit show after hit show. I heard she has a deal where you can't give notes when she turns something in, but she doesn't do sitcoms either. She does drama, and I can't speak on drama. I can just speak from people that I know that have been on sitcoms. They're like, God damn, we had something really funny, dude, and the networks gave notes, and now it's not as good. It's the nature of the beast. But I like how Katt went on there and gave his honest opinion, whether I agree with it or not. Some things I agree with, some things I didn't. But whatever Katt does, it created a firestorm, and now everybody's talking about Katt and everything. And then the funny shit is, so Katt goes back and forth with Wanda Smith on V103, and then her husband shows up at the comedy club where Katt was at on Saturday and pulls out a gun on Katt. I'm like, dude, if you're in this comedian game, if you play the dozen of somebody and you go back and forth on the radio, sometimes you'll get the best of them. Sometimes they'll get the best of you. And I don't know. I heard that Katt beelined it over to Wanda. Now the story is Wanda showed up at Uptown Comedy Theater in Atlanta. Katt beelined it over to her and was like, I told you I would make you go viral. I told you. And like, I don't know if he got in her personal space or business, but her husband's like, just go on, man. It ain't about that. Just go on. Keep it moving. And Katt wouldn't. He goes, dude, I'll jump you. Katt's not going to jump anybody. Let's be honest. And if he is, what's he really going to do? I mean, he's not that big, dude. I don't know how big Wanda Sykes' husband is. I'm sorry, not Wanda Sykes. Wanda Smith's husband is, but I'm sure he's bigger than Katt. So I guess they get in a verbal argument, and then a gun got pulled, and I don't know what happened after that. I've heard different versions, but as a comedian, man, you got to have thick skin, and your spouse has to have thick skin. Especially being a woman in this business, I can't even imagine being a spouse to a female comedian, because I said, again, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get through this, people, one day. That just comes with it, man. You get bagged on a lot. That's the beauty, and that's why the Comedy Central roasts are so popular, because they throw in what everybody's really saying about that person, but then they say, but it's not, they're kidding too. I said, again, fuck. This is going to be called the podcast because I say it so much. They throw in what people really said about that person, and then you throw in a little lighthearted jab, but then you'd be like, but we still love you. But we still love you. And I think that's what Katt was getting at with Tiffany. It's hard not to like Tiffany. I've known Tiffany for 18 years. You're around her. It's just hard not to like her. Same with Kevin. And that's the thing that Katt didn't bring up in this business. The likability is huge in this business. If you like somebody, you want to work with them. And I think Tiffany's just so likable, and her energy's positive, and she grinded for so long, and you could tell she's just appreciative of everything she's getting right now. So don't knock somebody's hustle, but I think people get it confused when Katt gives his honest opinion on things. And I think with Carmichael and Lil Rel and Hannibal Buress, he was saying networks are trying to make these guys movie stars and TV stars. And he's like, but you don't know who they are. They sit around, you don't know who they are. But I don't know. I think Katt was mainly commenting on the industry and not those individuals themselves. Because, we always say there's people famous between the 405 and the 10. And that's where a lot of the studios are in Hollywood. And there's people that the industry gives chance after chance after chance to be the lead in a sitcom, to be in a show. And the show goes away, and then they'll give them another chance. And the show goes to give them another chance. And I think a lot of times comics' frustrations go, God damn, man, I'm selling more tickets. I got a fan base. People want to see me on TV or they want to see me in movies, and you keep casting the same people. Why don't they switch it up and give somebody else a chance? You drive yourself crazy thinking like that. You drive yourself crazy. I always listened to Bill Burr one time. I had a conversation with Bill Burr at the airport. We just sat down bullshitting, and he just said, he goes, man, I'm just going to be so fucking funny. They can't deny me. I'm just going to be so funny. I said, I just need to hear that. I was like, yeah, man. I know I just try to be as funny as I can on the road, as funny I can when I get my chances on TV, and you hope one day somebody sees it, the right person sees it, and then they start putting you in stuff. And that's how I got the parts in Ride Along and Think Like a Man. I had a personal relationship with Will Packer, and I was like, he thought I was funny, but he gave me a shot, and we also gave Kevin a shot. That's where Kevin just blew it out the water. But personal relationships are big in this business. So I was happy to see Katt go to the Emmys, and then he bowed down to Tiffany. And I think he I don't know what he said. I don't want to put words in the Katt's mouth, but he probably was saying, I didn't say you weren't funny. I was just saying I didn't think you were the queen of comedy right now. And in there, I agree with Katt on that end. As far as stand-up, Tiffany's funny, but I don't think she's the funniest out there to call her the queen of comedy. To me, Samore's the funniest female out there. That's just my opinion. But I'm not saying Tiffany isn't funny. I'm saying I don't think she's the funniest comedian, in my opinion. It's similar to Margaret Cho and Janine Garoppolo. Every time I saw their stand-ups, I never got it. I was like, I don't get it. And I wouldn't laugh. But then I'd see people in the audience going nuts. And they both got fan bases. And I was like, I'm not knocking them. I'm not saying they're not funny. I'm just saying, to me, I wouldn't pay to see them. Or to me, I don't think that's not my type of humor. But there's people that my shit ain't their type of humor. I'm not stupid. There's a lot of people out there that are probably like, Gary, I don't think that shit's funny. I get it. I mean, that's the beauty of comedy. You find your fan base, and you hopefully you build and you grow with your fan base, and they tell more people, and you bring them in, and your fan base just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. But there's always going to be people that don't think you're funny. That's just the nature of the beast. There's no way. There's not any comic out there that everyone's like, yeah, he's the best.